Hey everybody, it's your girl here, Madison Jaye, the princess of entertainment, and you're watching Tanya on the Scene because she's always on the scene.
Hey guys, it's Tanya on the Scene, and I'm here with Miss Madison Jaye. Now, she is the queen of entertainment. She is a host. She has her own radio show. She's a radio personality. You pretty much do it all. So we need to wrap it all up and tell them how you manage to do it all. First, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Everybody, I love this girl so much. Isn't she awesome?
A little bit.
No, a lot of it. But thank you so much for having me. Just to sum up exactly what I do, the podcast, the Madison Jaye Show. I also do the same thing on the scene as you, red carpet correspondent, and I'm now the new host of Self on Cablevision Channel 78. Yes. I got to get that.
I was going to bring that up. But let's talk about that. So tell us, what exactly do you talk about during your show?
Well, it's a new show, so you know how the baby, it has to learn how to crawl before it can walk. But right now, Self is just about wellness, and it's mind, body, spirit. So anything you can think about how to feel good, look good, and be good. We introduced the book club, which is the J Strong Book Club there last week. We're going to be giving out beauty tips, beauty tips, makeup tips, inside beauty, spiritual healing, affirmations, meditations. We have a few celebrity guests that are going to stop by. I'm just really excited for the audience because they're a little harsh, but it's okay. It's okay.
Now, you say a few celebrity artists. Now, I've seen you with a few celebrity artists, just a little bit. Let's talk about some of the people that you have interviewed, some of the familiar faces for everyone.
A few people that I have interviewed right off the top, Michelle Williams. I've interviewed Fat Man Scoop. I always remember him because he was so much fun. I've interviewed Luke James, Stell, Marsha Ambrosia. There's a lot. I've also worked with a few people, well-known faces. You remember the Say Yes video because you were in it as well. We did that together. Also, I did a few press things for the Oprah, The Life You Want tour, where I interviewed Egypt Shepherd. I think that sums it up, I think.
Not even close, but okay. But let's talk about how you got to this, because a lot of people see you, and I love your quotes that you post as well, because a lot of people see you and they're like, oh, Madison, she's so perfect. I love her and this and that. But it didn't start like that.
No.
So talk about your journey and how much of a struggle it was for you to get to where you are today.
First, I want to start by saying how awesome she is as a journalist. That was a great question. But how I started, I'm far from perfect. I try to keep it as real as possible for all of I don't like to say fans, but my J Royals. And I think that's the one thing that people have started to relate to. But I've come from being homeless to parentless, raising myself, walking miles to get to school every day. But what I like to tell people, I've been through a lot of pain in my life, but pain is also the best teacher, and that's helped me mold it to where I am today, and it's helped me structure my foundation. So what I try to help people learn that pain is the best teacher, and when you learn the best lessons out of your pain, you become a better person, and you're able to take those and nest it into a craft, and it helps you find your purpose. And the one thing that I've learned is that our purpose is not for us, but we're here to help inspire other people, and our callings are to help other people find theirs. So that's what I like to do, especially with everything that I've been through. I used to be the one, woe is me. God, why am I going through this? I'm an honor roll student. Why do I have to find a soup kitchen for me and my brothers and sisters to eat at night? Or why do I have to walk to school every day? I'm a good girl and all of this. But what I've learned is that struggle has taught me so much, and it prepared me for this field. Because if you got a hard life, then you could eat this industry. It's nothing, but it's really prepared me. So I'm really thankful for my struggle, and I just try to keep it as real as possible, because one thing I've learned about this industry is it's kind of not real. It's not. Everything is very smile for the camera. So I try to help people see the organicness behind the scenes, and I try to help them introduce them to what goes on behind the scenes. And that's one thing that I've learned as a journalist is when you could connect to the audience in that way, they support because they feel like it's relatable. So that's a little bit of the journey that I've been through.
And now you're working with on The Quiet Storm with Lenny Green. That guy. Let's talk about that. How did you get into that?
I stalked Lenny for a little bit. No, professionally stalked him. So we met at an event. And I can't remember what event it was, but I told Lenny that day, and this was 2.5 years ago. I told him, I was like, I'm going to work for you. And he, yeah, you're going to work for me. I need, and I'm like, no, I am. So I took his email address. I didn't even take his phone number. But what I did was, he was like, you know what, just send me your resume, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. Cool, I'll do that. So I sent him my resume for 3 months straight. Every Monday I would send out my resume. A little bit of a stalker, but it was okay. So persistency is key, right? So I kept sending him my resume till one point he was just like, he called me because I have my number at the end of my email. I'm like, who's this? He's like, oh, it's Lenny Green from The Quiet Storm. And so when he called me, he's like, just come in, we're going to interview you. And when we had the interview, I was over prepared, came in here with like documents and this. He looked at nothing. And then he was like, you know what, come work for me on Mondays. So I started working for him, and then it turned into 2 days a week. Now I'm doing board engineering training. I help him with some of the booking for his show. My professional title would be digital producer, but they like to refer to me as the Olivia Pope of The Quiet Storm. So I do a lot of little, you know how it is in this industry. You have one title with that. You do everything. You kind of have to. But yeah, that's how that relationship started. And I'm very thankful for him. He's been a great mentor. And just watching someone who's been in the radio game for over 20 years, which is crazy. That's unheard of. And so watching someone every week after week, interview celebrities, it's been very inspiring. And I've learned so much from him, as well as Vito, who's his producer. He's also a heavy hitter. Shout out to both of them, by the way. But I've learned so much from them. They're so great in their fields. And I'm honored to be with them. And then we have this amazing relationship sometimes. But they're awesome. They're awesome. And, yeah, it's been pretty fun. I've liked it so far.
Now, you said you like it. But then before you said that this industry is not real. So, can you tell us
God, I knew this was coming.
what was the biggest challenge for you? You've been doing a lot, and you've been a lot of places. So what was the biggest challenge for you that you had to overcome that kind of made you think, like, you know what, this might not be for me?
The most challenging thing I would say is every day. A lot of people don't like to pay in compensation. So I think that's the look. You know, a lot of people, I want to make sure it's correct. A lot of people don't like to pay with opportunity. So to build that foundation of your worth, and I'm there now where I'm starting to get paid, but I think that was the most challenging thing I've ever faced, because you can get paid in opportunity a mile long. But when you start to be like, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've worked with some of the best in the business, it's time for me to start putting my foot down. So really getting that respect as a journalist in this industry, that's one of the most difficult things that I've ever faced. And it's still a challenge from day to day, because it's something that we all got to do it. You know, like I said, we have these titles that we get paid for, but we all do so much. So we not technically get paid for everything that we do. So that's probably one of the challenges that I face, that it's like, okay, is this for me? Should I do something else? Should I do something more safe? Should I get into medical? There's always jobs in medical. But then you realize that what I've accomplished, because I've only been doing this for 2 years, the things that you've accomplished, people don't do this in their lifetime. We've accomplished so much. So if I wasn't living my purpose, I wouldn't even be getting paid for anything that I'm doing. So you have to keep that faith. And just what Janae Aiko said it best, trust. You have to trust the signs. Everything's going to be all right. So that would be the most difficult.
Now, I have to comment on your outfit, because I told you when you walked in, so you look great, and I love the blazer, but you're big on fashion as well, and you always post for your J dolls, like, get this look, get this look.
I do love clothes. I think it's important, especially when you're the face of a brand, to have a representation. I think your clothes are supposed to fit your personality, and you can still be a smart, educated woman and still be into fashion, because I think all girls, to a degree, we like clothes and we like feeling good about ourselves. And if bright colors make you feel good, or if clothing, rock it. Rock. You don't have to be like, okay, well, I have this degree and I'm supposed to dress a certain way. You can dress a certain way and still be fashionably acceptable. I love clothes. I love clothing. They make me feel good. I love bright clothing because I think it fits my personality. So, and I'm not going to not wear, clothes. I love clothes.
And finally, let's talk about your podcast, because a certain someone was on it as well.
And when she says a certain somebody, she means her. I love Tanya. She's so amazing and so supportive. But the podcast, the Madison Jaye Show, shout out to Jameson Bennett. He's the producer of it. Isn't he?
Yes, shout out to James.
I like to say I'm the voice of my brand when it comes to the podcast, but he's the heart of it. Like anyone who comes into the show, he makes you feel his spirit. And I'm really big on energy and being around positive people because, as he likes to say, iron sharpens iron. And it's very true. It's very accurate. He's changed my whole perspective on so much. Like we learned so much from each other, and he's probably one of the people I'll probably work with for the rest of my life. He's awesome. I just love him. But when it comes to the podcast, the part that you were on was the sis panel. We record over at SiriusXM and a few other.
Wait. I know what sis is, but they don't know what sis is. So you have
back it
to
up.
sister. Yeah.
Back it up. Sis panel is Sisters in Spirit. And what I like to do is, like Tanya, bring a few of my fellow journalistic sisters on the show and us just celebrate the struggle. Let's celebrate our triumphs. Let's celebrate our obstacles. And let's inspire others to do the same. Because we all have bases. I don't like to say fan bases, but we all have bases that support us, that ask us all the time, how do you get started? How do you do this? How do you make money off of this business? How do you follow your purpose? How do you not give up? How do you get over these obstacles? So the CIS panel is just a way for all of us to come together and collectively give upcoming journalists knowledge on how to be successful in this industry and how to protect your spirit while doing that same thing, while facing those obstacles and not letting certain things taint your spirit. So the CIS panel is just a way to celebrate journalism. And one thing that we don't do in this industry is a lot of women don't like to support each other. You see, she's shaking her head. She's shaking her head. A lot of women don't like to support each other. So the concept of the show is for us to get together and collectively celebrate being women, and for us to realize that when women support women, beautiful things happen. And just because I get an opportunity or you get an opportunity, it doesn't block my blessings when you receive something, and vice versa. The only way to really elevate is for us to uplift each other. If we try to hinder each other, we become crabs in a barrel. So that's the concept of the CIS panel. But I've been doing the overall podcast for almost a year now, and it's starting to really pick up. So I'm really excited about the growth of my baby. Like I said earlier, it has to crawl. She's starting to walk, but she's falling, but she's getting up there. She's starting to walk. So I'm admiring it. We're actually going to drop my first audio book. It's amazing to see how much growth is in the show. And I've had a few celebrities that have come by, females that have actually supported the podcast, from Karen Civil to Lisa Ray, Carol Minaj, who's Nicki Minaj's mother. And that's just to name a few. Tweet, and it's just phenomenal. I just really appreciate the support of sisters. But guys, you can tune in as well. You can definitely tune in as well. But the podcast is overall just to help people grow. And it's a branch of Madison Jaye. And the one thing that I like to do is I like to teach people and how to nurture their brands and themselves and become better people.
When I was on the show, I have to give a special shout out to Vanessa Cunningham and Novi Rose, because they were on the panel with me and I learned a lot from them. And I actually did build a relationship. That's what you were saying. When you meet people, you don't just take a picture, snap it, and then just leave it, because I actually got their contact, kept in touch with them, and I'm supposed to be meeting with Vanessa soon for lunch. So
You become sisters.
Yeah, so thank you for that, Madison. I'm going to have all your information on my website, so you can catch up on Madison Jaye, excuse me. Head over to TanyaOnScene.com, and I'll give you all her. It's pretty much easy. It's Madison Jaye everywhere. But you can head over to TanyaOnScene.com, and we'll have all the information for you. Madison, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys learned something, and keep your heads up.
Keep your head up. Ooh, child,